I thought, with the delusion of someone who's been sewing for 2 whole months, I can just make that. Start out a little outfit. Okay, welcome back. So a few enjoyed the Vivian Westwood thrifting video that I did. There's a bunch of new subscribers from that, so hi, welcome. And in that video, I asked for suggestions on who else I should attempt to replicate. There were a few really great ones, and I kind of want to do all of them, but I decided to start with one very close to my heart, and that was another iconic, completely revolutionary female English designer, and that's Mary Quant. Revolutionized a couple of things in the 60s. One was taking what she found as like jersey knit pajamas in the US, taking them back to the UK and reproducing them as sort of everyday casual wear. Like we have her to thank for athleisure basically. And then obviously the A-line mini dress, which now is just so part of our fashion vocabulary and lexicon that we don't really question it, but at the time, absolutely revolutionary. And she also doesn't get enough credit, at least these days. Hi buddy, you like the boots? Oh well. As I was saying, she doesn't get enough credit these days for her menswear inspired looks. She very much loved a pant, a tweed sort of knickerbocker and high boot situation. There was very much a menswear / boho element to her fashion that we don't really see. When we hear Mary Quant, we very much think A-line mini dress, bold colors. I wanted to make sure, well, I was thrifting this challenge, that I did try to, yes, do the A-line mini, but also touch on her menswear inspired looks. I think here in the US, people like Mary Quant. They know of her, but I don't think she had quite the same impact as she does internationally. To the point where I was in Japantown yesterday. The Mary Quant makeup line is still being produced in Japan and imported here. I should have grabbed a lipstick or two. I don't know why I didn't. But they're still being produced because it is still influential. There is still an active Mary Quant brand, but you can really only get it either in the UK or Japan. And it is really interesting because she did so radically change how young women dress specifically. So I think it's really fascinating that she has kind of this outsized presence, but not quite as big here as she does elsewhere. But I definitely wanted to give her a whirl because I do love, love, love Mary Quant fashion. So this became an entirely different challenge than I had set out to do initially. Initially, I was just going to go thrift some A-line dresses, and because I've been doing the research and starting to really love her menswear inspired stuff, I decided, well, since finding those dresses was going to be so easy, I was going to add this challenge layer to it. I was going to add the menswear layer. Maybe that'd make it a little more difficult. Oh my gosh, how wrong I was. Simply thrifting an A-line dress that was in the actual Mary Quant style and fit proved to be nigh on impossible, which shocked me. I thought it was going to be so easy. So this challenge ended up, like I said, a little bit different. I decided that because the thrifting part became such a challenge, I was able to thrift some things. You're gonna see the thrifting, don't worry. I decided that, well, I'd go to the really nice vintage boutique and pick up something, right? But like sort of buy the whole outfit, which great. So glad I have that at my disposal, but it was not the spirit of the challenge. I did still want to show you because I think the outfit came out fabulous. But since I was going to do that, so I was going to buy one. I was going to then thrift one. And because I was having thrifting issues, I thought, with the delusion of someone who's been sewing for 2 whole months, I can just make that. Because during my research into Mary Quant fashions, a lot of, make-at-home patterns were coming up. These, vintage images of home patterns were coming up. It really just inspired me to make my own dress. So today you're going to get a buy, you're going to get a thrift, and you're going to get a make. You ready?
vintage thrift shop that has rarely ever let me down. And there's also a Goodwill. So we're going to pop in and we're going to look for Mary Quant A-line dresses. We're going to look for her menswear inspired stuff. We're going to look for some V-neck type dicky looking stuff. We're going to look for some pleats, solid colors, contrasting colors. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure we can find something today. So let's go hang out in the heat. I do not know what utter idiocy possessed me to do a quick thrift trip in the hate during lunch the week before Halloween. What? I did find a few things that I think could work, but what was I thinking? Possessed by sheer lunacy. I didn't get much footage because there's children everywhere, and it was a madhouse. I'm gonna go home, have some water, and relax for a minute, and then we'll get back to the Mary Quant.
Alright, this is the outfit that I bought. What do we think? In true fashion, it is a micro mini, so I will not be spinning around because no one needs to see my butt cheeks on the internet. But I thought, for video's sake, I'd go ahead and give it a try on. I think I am going to keep the dress. I love the dress. I am potentially going to add a couple inches to it with something cute. The tights are Leslie Evers. I'll put a link to them down below. Great reproduction, mid-century tight brand. And then some Sam Edelman loafers. And the earrings, I just happen to already have because, again, I do love the Mary Quant look. And her logo is this exaggerated modern daisy. So I love this. I think it's adorable. Again, for me to keep this in my wardrobe and wear it out and about. And finding a slip this small, that was a feat. I am going to, like I said, add to it, but I am going to keep it. I do love it. I think it's so sweet. And I love this detail. So I got this from a vintage vendor when I was at the Alameda Flea Market. That was a couple of videos ago. Very, very inexpensive. She was very sweet. It was the end of the day. We had a lovely little chat. Unfortunately, I don't have her name to share with you. But I do love the dress. It's adorable. I like it. Again, it needs a few little alterations for me to be able to wear it out and about, but I am very, very, very happy with it. Now, we are starting with the buy option. Thrifting is next. Now, thrifting, again, I thought was going to be sort of dumbly easy. I thought I would just toddle myself over to the Haight. I'd pop into my favorite vintage thrift store and the, you know, little local Goodwill over there, and that easy peasy, no problem, I would find not just the A-line dress, but also a menswear inspired look, much like these here. How wrong I was. How very wrong. So I was able to cobble together some pieces. For sure, I've got 2 looks that I will share with you. I could not find an A-line mini dress that fit on my thrifting excursion, so I went with separates. They do work. They absolutely do work. And they're both knit, and they're both pure, true vintage. Wool, and both pieces from England. And I got one at the Goodwill and I got one at the vintage thrift shop. So they do go together. The menswear inspired pieces, mostly more made up of newer, less quality items, but the look is achieved. So you'll have to let me know. Okay, this is thrifted look number 1. Now, the skirt is a little voluminous, but it worked so perfectly with this top, it just made sense. And I believe it was like $5.99. So it is a wool woven. This is wool woven. It's very warm in here, but it is so perfect. I was very specifically going for this look here. This is one of the patterns that made me think I could make my own. But I absolutely love this top so much. Love the skirt. I don't know if I can fix this to make it fit, but it's such a cute little look. Like my little loafers to go with. I love it. I just think it's adorable. Earrings I've had for a little bit. Just pulled those out. What do we think? So again, 2 pieces, 2 different stores, but they go so well together. I think this absolutely is in the spirit of Quant for sure, even though, you know, not technically a set and not a dress, but I think it absolutely works. Let's try look number 2, which is the menswear inspired look. All right, this is the menswear inspired look. And I absolutely adore it. Literally found this hat as I was walking out of the shop. This is the shop where I got the V-neck top. I absolutely adore it. I can't believe how perfect it is. It was a little pricey, I'm not gonna lie. It was about 20 bucks. But it is real tweed wool, so I will wear it this winter. I absolutely adore it. Got the brown top at the Goodwill. It was a crazy experience in there. The boots I had, and then the pants, was able to thrift these at the same Goodwill, but they're not like, you know, knickers. So I just tucked them in and the look works. I think it looks so good. I wish I was able to find a small sort of matching set, obviously tweed to go with the pants, but there are so many images of this look and her clothing at this time with no sleep. So I'm not gonna stress about it. I think I did pretty good. I have to say I'm a little surprised that as a child of the 90s, I don't own a grommet belt anymore. So the belt was one thing that gave me problems. I assumed I owned something that was so close to what was in that photo, but I don't anymore at all. This was the absolute closest belt that I own. So I'm super happy with this. I like the outfit. I think it absolutely works. I'm not normally a mock turtleneck kind of gal, or brown for that matter, but I really like this outfit. I really like the pants tucked. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm wearing this out, not today, but soon. Maybe not with the hat, but I absolutely love this outfit. It's making me so happy. So that said, while yes, it's making me happy, again, I was really frustrated with this thrifting experience. I thought it was such an easy slam dunk, and the fact that I struggled so much threw me for such a loop. And again, while I was looking for inspo for this, so often vintage sewing patterns came up. If you're new here, which most of you are, I started sewing about 2 months ago, and yeah, delusion. I was looking at all these sewing patterns. I was frustrated, at the thrifting experience, and I just said, yeah, I can make that. Absolutely not. I've been sewing for about 2 months. The pockets are wonky, the darting's a little wonky, but overall, I am so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. Absolutely going to be wearing it without a doubt. I think it's so cute. So this isn't actually a vintage Mary Quant pattern. It's kind of funky. I did order a couple, but they were taking forever to get here. I didn't really want to wait until they randomly showed up because I had to order most of them from overseas, and as we know, our mail system and tariffs are being a little impacted at the moment. So point being, they're on their way. They will get here at some point, and I will make a true vintage Mary Quant pattern. What this is, however, is several years ago, the V&A Museum did a Mary Quant exhibition, and as part of that exhibition, they released a modern take on a Mary Quant pattern. So you can download it for free. I'll include the link down below. You can download the pattern, print it, cut it out, make your own Mary Quant style dress. I absolutely love it. I think it's super fun. I even had these buttons that look very close to her Daisy logo signature. So of course I had to include those. I think I want to make some matching earrings, maybe a little dangly kind of thing to go with it. Again, it is absolutely not perfect, but perfection was never the point. So I am really excited about this dress. I loved making it. I had so much fun. I think it is absolutely sweet and adorable. And I just really enjoyed the whole process. So this is my delusional, I can make it myself, Mary Quant dress. So I hope you enjoyed this buy, thrift, make Mary Quant challenge. Again, thank you so much to the commenter who suggested her. Obviously, absolutely close to my heart and such a perfect suggestion. Again, there's a few others and I do want to make them all. Also, if there's someone else you think I should do, I would love to know. Please do comment. I'd also love to know if this is something you do while you're thrifting, or do you make your own clothes? Are you inspired by other designers? I basically, now that I've decided I sew things, I'm really into this idea of, if I can't find it, I can make it. And I'd love to know how you handle that, right? Do you say that and then do it? So let me know if there's another designer that you think I should try and thrift or make. And until I see you next time, hi buddy. Hi. Until I see you next time, stay curious, stay crafty, stay cute, and I'll see you then. Bye.